Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. La, 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 la. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. La, 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 la. La, la. Good morning. Welcome, March 22 in the year 2023. Sing it. Ba 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 ba. Oh. Ah, la, la. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Marcus Conte reporting, breaking. We're breaking it up. We're diving in. We're letting the artificial intelligence lead our minds wherever it may go. We are at the total and utter. We're at the mercy of AI. And today we're going to ask a fascinating question. We're going to try to find out. And the evidence seems to be stacking if you look historically at, and this is just hypothetical, philosophical, educational. It's not a, it's not scientifical or anything religical. It's simply a statement of facts. When you review the claims of many religions, you find in these religions, in these religious teachings, what we would consider to be wild and outrageous allegations of supernatural powers. Is that safe to say? Jesus rose from the dead. The Buddha, achieved enlightenment, and he thereby ended his rebirth, or whatever it is. Allah is one with God, right? Jesus walked on water. I think the most profound historical story is the story of Jesus. Now, don't be offended by it, where this is an educational, philosophical deep dive into the nature of that reality. And there is historical evidence, I imagine, that I'm going to show you. There's some historical evidence in the form of not photographs, but drawings, paintings, where mushroom was penciled into the equation. Right? But the comparison, I did the comparison with the AI device, and I was able to crash it when I asked it to compare the two, which is, what are the 10 supernatural experiences by Jesus, what Jesus claimed to have experienced, and what are the 10 most popular claims of someone experiencing a psychedelic trip? And the comparison is eye-popping when you see it. Then I asked it to compare the two, and that's when AI crashed. So, and I'll show it to you. I hope it's still up. Yeah, the thread is still there. So we'll talk about that thread. It crashed, and so I can't put anything else into it. But I copied and pasted it, so I have it just in case. But anyway, good morning. This is my thumbnail today. My name is Marcus Conte, and we're going to talk about the shroom and/or psychedelic connection to none other than Jesus. Was it all an inner experience that Jesus was talking about? Was it all just within, that there is no, maybe he wasn't referring to a physical place, but we're going to find out. Right? So it's good stuff. And, don't take offense. This is not a shot at Christianity. It's a historical correction, if you will. It's a historical correction. But, the reality of religion is, there's a lot of fairy tale, things that appear to be fairy tale, penciled into these religions. And someone won't question it at all, right? They won't question it at all. But if, for example, some other poor soul or average human being is experiencing the identical delusions or visions of a Jesus Christ, then he's a kook, but Jesus is God. You see the conundrum? I thought Jesus said we're all God, that God lives within. So we're all theoretically the same. I think most religions would agree on that. So, morning everybody in the chat. Mikhail Sly in the house. Chris Milk. What's up? Weevil Girl on the wrench. What's up, Weevil Girl? Champs. Good morning, Champs. Zoot Suit Cooter would like to know if Joy Reid is a racist. I would say yes, she is. And everybody else that's here, thank you all for joining me on this rather interesting deep dive, I guess it is. So I got a website. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning at 9 a.m., I'm here spewing with you all, spewing this philosophical, educational information so that we could all understand ourselves and the world around us just a little better. Instead of spending all our time eating one another before we die, literally eating each other. Well, we don't do that anymore. We don't literally eat each other like we used to when we were ants. Instead, we just compete with one another, banging off one another until we're dead. And then what? That was it? That's the whole trip? So anyway, that's some of the things we're talking about here. We used to do politics, but... we're going to talk about some politics today. It's two hot stories. We'll visit Ron DeSantis pushing back on Trump a little bit, and a fascinating development in the Alex Murdaugh double homicide where he kills his wife and his son. Now, the other son, Buster, it turns out that there was another murder back in 2015. Some gay lover got gay bashed, and it was alleged that maybe that was Buster's boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever friend. And the friend ended up, they labeled it a hit and run because Alex Murdaugh basically controlled, had a controlling interest in who's prosecuted and who is not. And it turns out that case never came to fruition. It was labeled a hit and run. So we'll look at that briefly. Did Buster, the other son of Alex Murdaugh, kill a gay lover? And then maybe Alex covered for him. The dad covered for him. My son killed a gay guy. And he covers, right? He killed his gay lover because he, I don't know, he just killed him. And then why was Buster not unhappy about his father possibly killing his mother and brother? Maybe because Buster, the son, Alex, the father, went to bat and saved Buster from a murder charge. So now dad is up on the stage and he's tried with murder, and Buster supported his father right till the end, showing no emotion. So there is definitely a motive there. Are we live? Are we allowed to speak? How's the chat doing? I don't see anybody moving. Hello. Are you guys just listening, or is it or am I all by myself? I don't know. So unhappy about his father. Hold on. Calm down, Conti. Calm down. So anyway, that's the thumbnail today, Jesus and his mushrooms. And we have a website, marcusconti.com. Every morning at 9 a.m. We're live. And last night, 7 p.m. Live, Tuesday night Dharma gathering. We're here. We're here for you. And I don't know what else I'm saying. If you enjoy this work, if you enjoy this direction of subject, And kindly think about becoming a donor to the program through Zelle. shorthappylife@gmail.com. We're looking for some rich people, man. If you're rich, stop being so fucking cheap and just taking everything for free. All right? Nothing is free in this world. You know, in your rich world, nothing is free. So why do you come here and eat for free? You eat all my grapes. You drink my wine. This is not handouts. So kick it back a little bit. If you got a couple of $1 million laying around through Zelle, and it'll come back to you tenfold. I promise you. I promise you. You give $1 million to this program, and you will get a $10 million response. So thank you very much. So let's start here. Ron DeSantis taking a stab, not so much at Trump in this clip, but saying, I could beat Biden. All right, let's listen.
I think so.
So you're running them? You think you could beat Biden?
I think so.
So you're running them?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I think I could. I mean, I think that's. I mean, if you look at Florida,
Who would be harder to beat, Biden or Donald Trump?
I don't know. Those are two different.
You think you could beat Biden?
I think so.
So you're running them?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I think I could. I mean, I think that's.
It's a good clip. So briefly, Ron DeSantis being pushed about potential presidential run, and Trump is angry. Trump is getting angry that Ron DeSantis, calling Meatball Ron. When Ron DeSantis yesterday says, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some sort of alleged affair. And Trump didn't like that, so he attacked him and brought to light the fact that those are fake allegations. So Ron DeSantis making headlines. So here it is. So 2015 death of Murdoch-linked teen Stephen Smith, now all of a sudden considered a homicide. Homicide. Before this trial, it was considered a hit and run. So listen to this. Can't make it up. The 2015 death of Murdoch-linked Stephen Smith. Hardly a Stephen. There he is. Hello, Stephen. That's Stephen Smith, a teenager. We'll be polite. He's dead. Is now considered to be a murder. Stephen Smith now considered to be a murder ahead of the planned exhumation of the gay teen's body. They're gonna dig it up. They're digging up the dead body. They're digging it up. The State Law Enforcement Division had been waiting to drop the bombshell development until after Murdoch's double murder trial wrapped up and the ensuing drama quieted down, says some law firm. Let's just jump right to the murder, right to the motive. So this kid was found. Look at the injuries. The injuries found with a large wound to the right side of his forehead, a dislocated shoulder, and cuts to his left hand. According to the police, it appeared to be a homicide, but it was later ruled a hit and run. So who was he? He was intimately involved, it seems, with this one, Buster, the son. Now, if you remember the trial, Buster sat there and supported his father after allegedly killing his mother and brother. So, did Buster kill the gay lover and then the father covered for him? Or did the father, the killer, kill the gay son and say, I got you, Buster. I got you covered. But there is motive there, right? What's the motive? To make the gay kid go away, right? Because they're homophobes, right? And you can't have, my son is involved with this gay boy or something ridiculous like that, right? But it looks like they whacked him, and now there's an open investigation. I think there might be a trial here. You might have they need evidence. They got to put Buster maybe put him in front of a grand jury and see if he trips up, and then you can bring an indictment against him. Fascinating story. But even more fascinating, welcome to the program. We're going to do a historical correction using the very, very advanced technological, educational, philosophical software. The AI has changed our lives forever and is revealing startling facts, historical or otherwise, about the nature of our reality. Look at these. Look at this photo. Not a photo, but probably a painting. I think it's from the 12th century. I'm going to show a bunch of them. I don't know when they're from or what they're from, but they're hanging in very prestigious churches and cathedrals, Catholic, Roman Catholic, Christian cathedrals all over the world. And if you look at this one, you see where the yellow circle is. It does look like the apostles are looking down. These are the apostles as Jesus. They're all looking down at his feet, towards his feet. And what do you see? You see imagery that appears to look like mushroom. Now, I don't know about that. It looks kind of like, it could be mushroom. That could be, magic mushrooms popping out of the ground. That's what it looks like, popping out of Jesus' feet. It could also be the edge of his robe. It could be the edge of his robe. I don't know, but why are they all staring down at the edge of Jesus' robe? So, again, we're just exploring the evidence before we ask AI to tell us unequivocally, was Jesus experiencing a hallucinogenic trip while he was talking to his disciples and convinced them that he was God? And then maybe, since they're looking down, maybe that's what the Last Supper was all about. They were tripping their ass off, right? They were tripping their ass off. Especially if Jesus, for example, kept his experience of hallucinogenics secret, like many secret yogis of the time did. Most yogis didn't go around telling everybody what they were doing to achieve their sense of balance, because once you tell somebody, so they'll try to take it away from you, try to convince you you're wrong, you're fucking crazy, you're stupid, you always want to be right, you're wrong. So maybe Jesus, hypothetically, philosophically, Jesus had experienced this other thing that was creating these illusions, these visions of God and supremeness and the Lord above. And he was professing it to his people. And then perhaps at that Last Supper, he said, you know what? I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Eat this and let's hang out. All right? And they... Chris Milk says, washing of the feet. It's a parable in the Bible. All right, where are the feet being washed? Okay, so they're all looking down. They all want to wash. Let's look at their feet. All their feet are barefoot. I know that parable, thank you. Where's Jesus' feet in the picture? Let's look. There's other pictures. It's not the only one. I'm going to show you a bunch of them. Jesus' feet, it's hard to see. It's hard to see based on that one, but let's keep going. Let's go. So here we got another one, another historical reference. I think this one's clearer. There's Jesus, allegedly Jesus, and coming out the ground appear to be some shrooms. Appears to be some sort of growth that look like mushrooms coming out of the ground. Where were these things hung in churches? I don't know. I just did a quick Google search and I'm finding a bunch of them. Here's another one. Everybody is surrounded and it looks like the mushrooms he's standing on a hill of mushroom. All right, he's got the cross. The cross is upside down. He's tripping his ass off. All right, and maybe, I don't know. Here's another one. Here's a stained glass window, stained glass. and what appears to be a couple of red tips. Red tip mushroom. There you go. All right. There you go. There's 4 pieces of evidence so far, right? Historical, theoretical, philosophical. All right. And so let's see what AI says. Let's see. Here's the question I proposed, because I had this idea early this morning. I asked AI to list 10 supernatural events or visions that occurred in the life of Jesus Christ. That's a fair question, right? Fair question. Okay, so the Annunciation, that's when Gabriel appeared to Mary to announce that she would conceive a child by the Holy Spirit and give birth to the Son of God. Now that's pretty heavy, right? You could say, well, we're all the Son of God. Right? We are. Every form of life is springing from God. You could call it the sun God. That's how I view it. And Gabriel, the angel, when we say angel in Christianity, we think of, something that has wings, a human with wings. All right, so a human with wings told Mary she would conceive the Son of God. No, that's not too amazing. The Nativity. Jesus was born in a stable in Bethlehem, and angels appeared to shepherds to announce his birth. So angels, make no mistake of an angel. It comes down from heaven. It's a human with wings. A human with wings. The baptism of Jesus, when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, a voice from heaven declared, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." All right? So John heard a voice. All right? Jesus was baptized, so I don't know. The Transfiguration. Jesus went up on a mountain with 3 of his disciples, and his appearance changed to become dazzling white. Elijah and Moses also appeared with him. So people were looking at him, and he became something else. He was like transforming right in front of them. That's pretty trippy, right? The resurrection, number 5. The resurrection. After Jesus was crucified and buried, he rose from the dead on the 3rd day, appearing to his disciples and others. All right? Rising from the dead. That is heavy-duty supernaturalism. This guy rose from the dead. Shit, where'd you come from? I was dead for 3 days, and I decided to come back to talk to my disciples because I'm the Son of God. And my mother was conceived immaculately. Ascension. 40 days after his resurrection, Jesus ascended into heaven in the presence of his disciples. Okay, so Jesus makes his way to heaven, and the disciples see it. Right? Seeing a man ascend to heaven, okay, or God, whatever. Miracles. Jesus performed many miracles, including healing the sick. Now, why is that considered a miracle? That's actually something that you can do. Feeding thousands of people with only a few loaves of bread and fish, and walking on water. Walking on water. Round of applause for walking on water. Very supernatural. We're exploring the 10 supernatural events and visions that occurred in the life of Jesus. Right? And I didn't say the alleged visions or occurrences. I said the actual events, I asked. So AI is giving me the actual events. These are real events, according to AI. They're not theoretical or hypothetical. They are real. The Last Supper. Jesus gathered with his disciples for a final meal before his crucifixion, during which he instituted the sacrament of the Eucharist. That's not too fascinating. The crucifixion. Jesus was crucified on a cross, and darkness fell over the land when he died. that's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that darkness was reported when Jesus was crucified. I know that certain enlightened beings, when they're cremated, very, very well documented in our modern history where rainbows appear. It happened with Chung Yam Trungpa. People say it happened with Thich Nhat Hanh. You look outside and all of a sudden there's a rainbow, right? And I don't know. Is that human perception? I don't fucking know. But so darkness fell over. Jesus dies in darkness, falls over the land. The second coming, well, it hasn't happened yet, so we'll leave 10 alone. All right, so those are the amazing, death-defying feats of the Jesus. Now I asked, list 10 supernatural events and or amazing visions that are reported when consuming hallucinogenic plants. All right. I didn't ask it to compare. I just said, give me the 10 visions of Jesus, supernatural things that Jesus said, and then give me the 10 supernatural events and amazing visions that are reported when people consume plants, hallucinogenic plants. Let's go. Number one. First, it says, as an AI model, it always gives its disclaimer. It is important to note that the use of hallucinogenic plants is illegal and potentially harmful. It is also important to emphasize that these reported visions and experiences are subjective and not necessarily verifiable. Well, what do you mean they're subjective and not verifiable? They're living people experiencing them. This guy's been dead for 2,000 years. Isn't the person in front of you more valid and definable and examinable than someone who lived 2,000 years ago? I think so. In any event, AI will continually throw disclaimers because it doesn't want to go on the record saying, yeah, you're right, man. There is a lot of comparison and similarities between Jesus's experience and those hippies over there eating mushrooms. They seem to be saying the same goddamn thing, Marcus. You're right. All right, so number one. Of the 10 most commonly supernatural experiences, people who consume psychedelics. Number one, spiritual or mystical experiences. Many people report feeling a sense of connectedness to the universe or a higher power. Number one. Number two, out-of-body experiences. Some users report feeling as though they have left their bodies and observing themselves from a distance. Yeah. I let me tell you something. I actually experience that quite often when I run. When I run and I combine it with meditation and some other things, I feel that feeling of you're out of the body. You're not the body. Right? It's a feeling. It's an impression that comes along with a incredible sense of not so much euphoria, but joy. Right? It's connected to happiness, a sense of relief, relaxation. And then you realize, well, I'm only relaxed because I'm not identifying with bodily pain, bodily suffering. And I transcend it in a run. So that's common. Number three, time distortion. Users often report that time seems to slow down or speed up. That's consistent with a lot of what Jesus is saying. Synthesia. The senses can blend and cross over, with some users reporting seeing sounds or feeling colors. All right. Visual hallucinations. Users may see patterns, factuals, or vivid landscapes and creatures that are not actually present. Well, isn't that the same as transfiguration? You could call that transfiguration, number 6. Number 7, intense emotions. Many users report feeling intense emotions such as euphoria, terror, and awe. Awe, excuse me. No R. Awe. All right. Number 8, insights and epiphanies. Some users report gaining profound insights into themselves, the nature of reality, or their place in the universe. Number 8. Insight. Insight, goddammit. Now, as I've always said, meditation enhances could and will enhance all these things. Number 9, encounter with supernatural beings. Some users report seeing or communicating with spirits and deities or other supernatural beings. And number 10, healing and transformative experiences. Some users report that their experiences with hallucinogenic plants have helped them overcome trauma, addiction, or other challenges and have transformed their lives in a positive way. So there you have it, side by side, the supernatural events of Jesus, which, according to the theologians, is fact and cannot be disputed, because if it is, then you're fucking pissing on my religion. And also that it happened 2,000 years ago with no real physical evidence and no witnesses to it because they're all dead. No audio, no visual, no actual writing, no nothing. Just hearsay. Right? But on the other hand, you have the supernatural experiences of people consuming products that are producing the exact visions that Jesus is talking about. Not the exact detail, but the context of the vision, right? The sense of godliness, right? You whip up a story based on what you're seeing, right? And then feed it to the Sikhs, feed it to the apostles so that they see it too. God damn it! And then we're all seeing the same goddamn thing. It does make sense. So I asked about a book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, a study of the nature and origins of Christianity. So the AI knows the book, and it concludes that Allegro also suggests that many of the symbols and stories of Christianity, such as the virgin birth, here's the big one. The book suggests that the sacrament of the Eucharist, which involves the consumption of bread and wine as the body and blood of Christ, may have originally been a reference to the consumption of hallucinogenic mushrooms as a means of experiencing a mystical union with God. So this is not unexplored territory. A man his name is Allegro, has written a book about it. And I ask it to summarize, doesn't matter. Now, here's where the computer crashes. You see when it goes red? It says, I can't answer anymore. I can't answer. And it goes red and it stalls, right? I crashed it this morning. Please compare in list form the 10 supernatural events and or visions that occurred in the life of Jesus Christ and 10 supernatural events and or amazing visions that are reported when consuming hallucinogenic plants. Compare the two. You do it in list form. So it did. Sure, here's a comparison. Right? Number 1, virgin birth. 2, John the Baptist, temptation in the wilderness, miracles, transfiguration, rising of Lazarus from the death, crucifixion, ascension to heaven. Spiritual, and then with the plants, spiritual and mystical experiences, out-of-body experiences, time distortion, visual hallucinations, ego dissolution, intense emotion, insight and epiphany. encounter with supernatural beings, healing, and transformative experiences. So it did the comparison, and then while it was explaining, it crashed. Let's listen to where it crashed, because I'll hit the regenerate the response again, but I might lose it. So it wanted to explain something to me after it did it. So what did it try to explain? While there may be some similarities between these two lists, it is important to note that they are quite different in nature. The supernatural events and visions associated with Jesus Christ are generally considered to be historical events or religious beliefs, while the reported experiences when consuming hallucinogenic plants are subjective and not necessarily verifiable. I disagree. It's more verifiable because it's happening right in front of you, or it could be happening to you. So that in itself doesn't make sense. A historical event 2,000 years ago is more verifiable than what is happening right in front of your eyes, right? People isolate them. Isolate these people and dose them, and they all experience a similar set of events. Right? They're all experiencing these things as we talked about. Let's continue. While the reported experiences when consuming hallucinogenic plants are subjective and not necessarily verifiable. Disagree. Additionally, the experiences associated with Jesus Christ are part of a religious tradition that has shaped the beliefs and practices of millions of people for centuries, while the reported experiences, and it crashed, and the reported experiences are what? Are what? I'm going to ask it. Regenerate? It doesn't. It took away the box to ask it again, so I'll hit it again. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. It took back. You see how it took it back? You see how it took it back? I hit the regenerate response, and it took away that last comment. We caught it. Chris Milk reports I broke it. I did break it. And you see how something, it then, when I clicked regenerate response, it took back its answer. It took it back. Something went wrong. No, I refuse to answer. Go away. You're evil. You're bad. You're going to lose your privilege to use this motherfucker. So there you go. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Luckily, I saved that thread because I had a feeling that was going to happen. When I clicked the regenerate, you saw how it made that go away. You also look to over here where my cursor is. That's where the history of things that I was asking for, unable to load history. No, we're taking away your memory. We have removed, Mr. Conti, we have removed your memory. You no longer have the memory that we provided for you because we took it back. So anyway, fascinating exploration. We used it for a little while, but clearly the AI is designed to defend the holy sacrament of Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus, and for good reason. Because if it turns out that Jesus didn't rise from the dead or walk on water or is not verifiably the Son of God, Christianity is over. Because that's what it's founded on. It's founded on the supernatural powers of Jesus to defy death and such. But here you have, the people created in the image of God. Right? That's what Jesus said. We're all created in the image of God, walking around on the planet, discovering substances that create that same impression. And why is this bad? You got to ask yourself, why is it bad? Because it creates godlike beings? Why did it become illegal? No, you can't take that because Jesus took it. That's reserved for the Jesus tried and true. How did it become taboo? You got to ask yourself. How did these substances, these foods, mushrooms, become off limits for regular humans? Why is that? Why is it not allowed? Because it's not real, or it is real. You are experiencing these things for yourself, and you don't need to go sit in a church and listen to it. Right? You don't need somebody to tell you about it. You're diving in experientially. So the idea of, again, this is not a promotion of psychedelics or anything like that. It's a statement of fact that there is a strong correlation between the experiences of historical religious figures and the experience of psychedelic substances right here on Earth right now in front of us. When humans consume these things, not even humans, when anything consumes it, you'll see a transformation of some sort, whether positive or negative or in between. So there you go. I mean, I think the evidence is rather clear, at least in my mind. Let's look at the market. What does the market think? Oh my God, we got to still deal with Earth and money. NASDAQ is down 27 this morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 34. S&P 500 down 41. I would call that a hold. Big news coming today at 2 p.m. Federal Reserve will announce at 2 p.m. is it going to jack up the interest rate by another 25 basis points because their actions thus far have been breaking the back of the banks, and they're going to stop doing that, raising interest rates to rein in inflation, which doesn't seem to be working that much? Or are they going to hit the pause button and look weak and let the banks recover already? It's I guess the Wall Street is the odds are 85% chance that the Fed jacks up the rate 25 basis points. That's the Wall Street consensus right now. It's going to happen at 2 o'clock. If this 0.025, this 25 basis points, comes in at zero, if Jerome Powell says, we're going to pause for a month, boom, rallies markets rally. I got that backwards. The markets will rally bigly. And I think that's what everybody wants. So if Jerome Powell wants the markets to go up, he should get his head out of his ass and just leave it alone. Don't do anything. Stop what you're doing. You're breaking the back of these banks, maybe deliberately. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, no, that's okay. We'll break the small banks and the big banks will take over. Maybe that's what they want to do. But Wall Street is not happy about the jacking up of the interest rates, and it shows in price. So again, we're up on the NASDAQ a little bit. The Dow is hovering at 32.5, S&P at 39. These are not historical highs. We're not at any top or breakout point at this point. But if you're looking for a game changer, and that game changer could come today at 2 p.m. So I'll be reporting on that tomorrow. So thank you all for joining me. And it's the jury's out, man. Is the jury out? Have we cracked? What did we do today? Did we I'm gonna hold off on that. Did we solve the great mystery of Christianity? Did we crack a mystery today, or did we just go into ground that nobody wants to talk about? Did we see something? What's a funny question? I'll leave you off with this. I asked the question to the AI. I said, how many people did it take to build the pyramids? Build the Egyptian pyramid. And it said, anywhere from 100 to 200,000 people. It had a concise number of something that happened thousands of years ago. How the fuck did you get that number? And then I said, a simpler question, how many people did it take to build the internet? And it said, well, I can't come up with a number because there's so many interrelated parts and so many other people involved in the development of the internet. And now when you think about that, how do you come up with an accurate number of humans of an event that happened 2,000 years ago, but something happening right in front of your goddamn eyes? You can't even guess how many people it took to invent the internet? You see, my point is that history is not really factual when you think about it. It's hypothetical, theoretical, right? It's philosophical at best because there's no proof of it. Because it happened a long time ago, there's some proof. What fucking proof? Right? There is no proof. So anyway, thank you all for joining me, Mark Scante reporting. See you guys tomorrow, man. See you tomorrow morning. And again, don't be offended if I crushed your religion, your religious beliefs. Look, this is a no religion zone. I don't believe in anything, and at the same time I believe in everything. I believe in you. I do. I believe in you. Ooh, ooh. I believe in you. Ooh, ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. Oh, oh.